In the heart of a vast and bustling city lived a young janitor named Milo. Milo worked in a towering office building filled with people dressed in suits and ties, people who spoke fast and walked faster. Milo, on the other hand, wore a simple uniform, pushed a cleaning cart, and often moved unnoticed through the polished hallways and shining elevators. While others climbed corporate ladders and closed important deals, Milo quietly swept floors and emptied trash bins. But Milo had dreams. He didn't want to be a janitor forever. He dreamed of designing buildings, of creating spaces where people would live, work, and find inspiration. Every time he mopped the marble floors or wiped down windows that stretched to the clouds, he imagined what it would be like to draw those walls himself. The problem was, Milo had never been very disciplined. He'd tell himself he would start studying architecture, but then he'd sleep in. He bought books, but they collected dust. He watched others chase their goals, while his own remained nothing more than daydreams in the back of his mind. One night, sitting alone on a bench outside the office building after his shift, he realized that if he didn't change something soon, those dreams would remain just that, dreams. That night, instead of overhauling his life with some grand plan, Milo made a small promise to himself. He would wake up 15 minutes earlier every day. Just 15 minutes. He would use that time to read one page from a book on architecture. That was all. He didn't try to master blueprints or design software overnight. He just wanted to start. The next morning, he kept his promise. He sat on his bed, eyelids heavy, and read a single page. The page was simple, introducing the basic principles of structure and space. The next morning, he read another. Slowly, day by day, the pages began to add up. After a few weeks, he found himself curious for more. 15 minutes turned into 30. Then an hour. He began to carry a small notebook and sketched buildings he saw on his way to work. He started watching free online lectures during his lunch breaks. He swapped late-night TV for documentaries on design. The habits were small, almost invisible at first. But they were consistent. Months passed. Milo saved up for an online course. He took it seriously, completing one module at a time during the evenings. He still worked as a janitor, still pushed his cart through the same hallways, but inside, something had shifted. He no longer saw himself as just a cleaner. He saw himself as a student, as someone building a future brick by brick. One afternoon, while cleaning the conference room, he overheard two executives discussing the company's plans for a new satellite office. They were complaining about how expensive the design firms were and how none seemed to understand the company's vision. Milo hesitated, heart pounding, then gathered his courage and spoke. "I don't mean to interrupt," he said, nervously gripping his mop, "but I've been studying architecture. I know I don't look like much, but I've done some designs. If you'd let me, I'd love to show you." The executives blinked, surprised, but curious. One of them handed Milo a card and told him to email his ideas. That night, Milo didn't sleep. He stayed up refining sketches, pulling from everything he had learned over the past year. He sent in his designs the next day. A week later, they called him back. They liked his ideas. They didn't hire him to build the entire office, but they gave him a freelance project to design the break room, a small start, but to Milo, it meant everything. He completed the project with care, professionalism, and creativity. Word spread. More small projects followed. Within 2 years, Milo left his janitor job and began working full-time as a designer. It wasn't magic or luck that changed Milo's life. It was those small habits. The 15 minutes. The daily pages. The quiet choice to show up and keep going, even when no one noticed. His life didn't change overnight, but it did change completely. The advice Milo would give to anyone with a dream is simple: big success is often the result of small habits repeated every day. Start small, stay consistent, and let those tiny changes build something bigger than you ever imagined.